That cost me $10,000 for a new AC furnace combination. The tree landed on the AC condenser.
What a picky tree.
It took out a balcony railing, so I gotta fix the railing yet, but that's just a couple 2x6s re-screwed back together. But that AC condenser falling on it, it was an older unit, so the techs went out there and said, all right, I don't have parts for this, I can't get parts for this, I'm gonna get a new one, which means I also have to change the insides of this furnace. They took the furnace apart, found a CO leak, so they had to replace the entire thing. So $10,300 later, that unit had a brand new furnace and AC condenser.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scale Nation podcast. My name is Manny. I'm here with my co-host Zach. And Zach, you look like you got a new background. What's going on there?
Yeah, so the office that I had prior was basically just a one-bedroom apartment we had in our portfolio. So we're actually turning it back into a rental. And I'm currently sitting inside of one of the finished rooms in the flip that we're currently doing.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about that flip last week. This is the one how many units is this one, this flip? Or is it a single family?
This is a single family. Yeah, so this single family we purchased for $35,000. Renovation budget about $90,000. And
wow, that's really big.
And
was it gutted when you went to it?
What's that?
Was it gutted last time you checked it out?
Pretty much gutted. Yeah, we had to pretty much do a lot of drywall, flooring, we had to do electrical, plumbing.
Wow.
So pretty much it was almost gutted. We had to trash it out. We had to install a partial new foundation. And so yeah, this room.
Wait, you said a partial new foundation?
Yeah. There was a big tree outside prior to our ownership that they had cut down, but the roots pushed through the foundation wall, and the owner previous to us tried repairing it, but they didn't know what they were doing. So it failed inspection. It wasn't properly done. Big crack in one of the sides of the foundation, as well as poor install of the new section that they had tried. So we had to do a whole new section of block foundation and repairs on what they did as well.
That's insane. If you were to tell me that you bought anything for $35K, right?
35,000, yeah.
Yeah, if you buying a house with $35K, if you got the skills, I guess it makes sense, right? All those construction workers out there, they're saying they can't afford something. Hey, you got the skills, you got the know-how.
Exactly. And once it's done, once this is complete, it's actually going to be a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it'll be valued around $200,000.
That's awesome. So what's your plan, your exit strategy? Are you planning on staying there? Are you planning on refinancing?
It's a BRRRR, so we're definitely going to finish the renovations and then go back to the bank and refinance. And we're going to pull back whatever money we have, plus some, pay off the current mortgage. Because I did use a bridge loan. I did use a interest-only bridge loan. They lent 100% financing for the purchase and the renovations. So I got to pay back to $125,000, but 80% of 200 is 160. So we're still pretty good. And then after that, we're debating on moving here, or we're debating on just renting it back out, because this area can get a good $1,500 in rent, especially for a 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths. So
that's actually pretty cool. Is this the only property you're currently living in right now?
As far as,
because you said you're planning on either living there or renting it out. If you
our current home,
you got to find something else, right?
We do own our current home. Primary residence, we do own it, but we have discussed and debated for years now. We've built this portfolio of rental units, and why don't we just rent from ourselves? That way we can move more often. We can go where we need to go. And 8 years from now, when all my kids graduate high school, I'm not looking at a primary residence, having to sell it or turn it into a rental. I'll already have a whole bunch of rentals that I just have to move out of and move into something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I'm currently doing right now. I'm renting my current location, and I'm using my income that I'm generating to buy properties to rent. And it was hard for me to get started with that, because everyone's like, "You don't have a primary? What? You need a primary?"
Yeah, and And primary can be, where you live. I mean, technically you own it.
True.
Technically I own this, but I don't have to worry about, it being in my name.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. If you look at, I believe it's how Cardone got started. He bought a primary, but he bought a duplex. He bought a primary. He lived in it for a while. And then he moved to the basement and rented the top out. And then bought another one and kept going like that. He kept house hacking until he got a little bit bigger.
I didn't know Cardone started out like that.
I'm pretty sure it was Cardone. I really think it was.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I want to do. I'm looking for a primary in Pitt, but every deal I find. So there is one in Beachview. I don't know much about Beachview. I hear it's okay. It's next to Dermont, which is a good area. But there was another one that I saw that was in Bethel Park. Bethel Park is very very competitive, and I'm having a hard time getting anything there. But overall, it's been a hard find, hard sell, and every offer that I've been submitting, no one's accepting. I guess it's summertime too. I guess everyone's hopeful. There's no more snow anywhere. When there's snow everywhere, it's a lot easier to get deals.
Yeah, definitely a buyer's market in the wintertime.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, I'm enjoying it though. So beyond that, I did find I wanted to ask you a question. So for some reason, I already when I was looking at properties, I found 2 properties that were 5 units on the MLS. Is that common in PA?
It depends on who got a hold of it. So who's the the listing agent on that one, the broker on that one?
Those I don't know, but I can pull up real
But
quick.
it completely depends. So if I get a hold of a multifamily, if I get a hold of a 15, 20, 25 unit property to list, I would definitely list it everywhere that I could. So as a member of Crexy, I would list it on Crexy as well as my NLS. So, but you don't see those things on the MLS as often because your large multifamily brokers don't have a regular MLS. They are members of Crexy, they're members of LoopNet, those large
Uh,
multifamily sites, the commercial real estate sites. So your SVNs and your Colliers aren't going to be on your West Penn MLS if you take, for example, Pittsburgh area.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes it a little bit more valuable here.
So, but I do have a colleague up in Clearfield who got a hold of a listing for an 18 unit, and she put it on the MLS. She put it on her MLS, and that's where the MLS we belong to, the multi-listing service we belong to, is where we advertise properties. So no matter what we get a hold of as a listing, that's where it's going to go.
Okay, I see here. So this one, yeah, it's a Berkshire Hathaway. I guess
Yes,
that is
most
just a
likely a regular. So most likely a regular
brokerage.
agent
Yeah.
who primarily does residential sales.
Yeah, I've been trying to. So when I was doing it, I was making sure that while running it, I run it as a commercial, and commercial deals are a little bit different than residential. So I'm thinking minimum 25% down. Well, depending on who you go with. This property has some possible upside. There's a lot of rent growth, and there's one unit that I think needs vacant. I like to show it to you after this, but it's interesting. It's interesting, and I need to get some more opinions on it. But
Yeah.
it comes to again that I need to have a commercial lender, right? Because there's not all the lenders I've been working with are residential, and they're not really into anything
Right,
above the
exactly.
4 units.
Yeah, majority of people are going to go 1 to 4 units. Some will go 5 to 8, depending
Really?
on their lending box.
Yeah. Well, so it's already been 6 months, 6 months of the year. Halfway through it, and I remember at the beginning of the year, I made some promises to see I'd have a unit, and I did. I got one.
Yeah,
Got
there
my
you go.
first one. Actually, yesterday we got our 4th tenant in, so fully occupied. Happy
That's
about
awesome.
that. Yeah. I'm excited and it's actually cash flowing more than I predicted. But I really lowballed it. I was trying to make sure I was safe as much as possible when I was averaging rents
Yeah,
and
you
everything.
underwrited it great. Because yeah, and what if
Yeah,
something would happen, and what if you couldn't get fully
exactly.
occupied
What if I couldn't?
right away?
Exactly. So right now I'm thinking focusing on stabilization. We finished occupancy. I just got all that done. The insurance got all that done. Actually, today, sent the email out. Everyone's approved it. So now it's on stabilization. I spoke to my PM and I told him, because I was asking him, hey, there's a lot of fees coming in, right? And then there's the rent that was coming in, plus all the fees that my PM was like turning a couple units for me, etc. And I was like, should I contribute like some money in to the PM stuff because there's a lot of fees in here and the rent's not going to cover all of it. And he was like, don't do that. We'll just do it with a couple months, get all the until you're positive again, because it's a accounting nightmare. He said, we we make sure we only do it for those who we know can't afford to pay
Yeah, the
because
only contribution, right?
yes, the contribution, owner contributions, exactly. It's
Yeah,
an accounting nightmare, and it's
yeah.
hilarious when he said that to me. So it's all right, I'll just leave it alone. Just let me know because I don't want you guys think I'm taking advantage of you because there's a balance, and then you have to wait a month for that balance to get cleared because we're basing on rental income. I didn't even know about that until he told me. I thought that anything they would do, they just charge it to me directly out of my bank account or credit card because I gave them a credit card. Apparently, you need to do that for your PMs to have it on file just in case anything that they need to, they'll charge to your credit card or they need to give it to
Right,
vendors.
exactly. And a
Some
lot of
vendors
property
need it.
managers actually don't carry negative balance for their owners. They refuse to. So having those
I'm
contributions,
surprised.
yeah, having them
That's
do
very
that as instead of doing contribution, yeah, it's actually a nice thing.
Yeah, that's very, very well. I'm pretty sure. So not only he is getting the tenants in, it's 100% occupied, and we're projected to make more than. I mean, they're collecting the rents, right? They can see based on rent collections that they're going to get more than it's going to cover that 100%. But it's surprising that some property managers don't do that, like you mentioned. I guess it depends on the owner too. If you know
It
the
depends on
owner
the
really.
property manager. Yeah, it depends on the owner. I know a property manager here in town who will definitely never carry a negative balance for an owner, but definitely make sure that she got her management fees before she even paid bills or yeah, paid bills or
Wow,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So because the owner was that stingy with his money, he would
wow.
pay he would pay the negative balances that she requested but it was always a fight and it was always you know every other month.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. I see. The fact that I offered the property manager is like, wow, this is a breath of fresh air. Usually no one says anything. They're like, oh, it's negative. I'm not going to say anything unless they come to me.
Exactly, exactly. They're probably out there going, yeah, yeah,
Well, no,
hey,
because I want them. I want to submit more work orders, right? And because,
right,
like for example, the insurance thing, I had to ask them to go ahead and get the weeds off the side of the property because insurance required it for some underwriting. Insurance required it for some reason. So I asked them, hey, can you do that for me? And I want them to do more. If I have another work order, I don't want them to be like, I'm not going to give you a work order. I'm not going to do this until you pay this, right? So I was like, let me get on top of that. And they're like, no, 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 don't pay anything because it's kind of a pain in the butt for accounting processes. And we'll just have it because they itemize everything. So it's good for me that they itemize everything and they show me what they did, why they did it, and for what unit they even did it to. And even some pictures sometimes if it's requires pictures like the insurance thing. So I'm happy. I'm happy that they're willing to work with me. Hopefully I can keep that relationship because like I told all my friends when I was getting into this space, they said, what can kill your deal? And I said, me as the owner, bro. That's like the most dangerous part. If I'm not managing this good enough, this deal's gonna die. So I'm leveraging all my resources.
yeah, yeah. And you did a good thing by getting a property manager out in the area that knows the area very well
Yeah,
because trying
yeah.
to self manage outside of your local area is difficult. Um,
So I was trying to tell Lynn because she was like, couldn't we self manage? I was like, if we were there, like, and it was like
yeah,
right next to us, yeah, probably, but we're all the way like a flight away. If something happens, we need someone that can handle it
right,
as good
exactly,
as right
exactly.
now. And don't and viewers don't get it wrong, right? Long distance real estate management is very, in a way, it can be passive. It's not passive for me because I want to be in the weeds. I'm always looking at stuff and expensive and making sure that everyone's whole. But in a way, it is passive because I have a PM who handles the day to day stuff. They handle the tenant
Yeah, exactly.
calls.
If you wanted to be completely hands off, you could be.
I
You
could be.
you could wait every month to get a report. You could wait for that phone call of, hey, we need money, or hey, here's your money. and let's have a 1 month, every month meeting about what's going on, and you could be completely hands off the unit altogether.
I could be. Yeah.
And that's something. Yeah, you said you admit it, you can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
looked at. Sorry, Nikki's right here on my side, giving me
Oh, hey,
little,
Nikki.
give me
I can't
little.
even see her.
She's waving. Yeah, so she just mentioned too. She's not gonna be able to be. She can't be hands off. It's not possible for her. We are just boots in the ground. We're hands on people. We've been in the business long enough, working for other people, other property managers, that we know the ins and outs of it, and we know what we want and how you want it done.
Yeah.
Granted,
I think
we always understand that there's always more to learn. So we do take advice and learn things and continue to talk about things and continue to grow. But we are the type of people that would not be able to be hands off on a property. I've looked at
for
markets
me,
like New Orleans or St. Louis, and we've had a conversation, and it's like, okay, not until you're ready to be out there for like a week at first
that
can you invest in this area. And I'm like, all right, fine.
makes sense though.
But
It makes you
in that
stay
scenario, I
focused.
would be with side by side with the property manager that I would hire to let them run it, but also understand what they're doing, or understand what my expectations are. And if it, so if the property also then came with an on-site manager, bring them into my team and get down there and get them under, under understanding my requirements, my roles, my criteria, and then run them from farther away. So there's a couple different scenarios based on property size and property, and location. But I would definitely have to have somebody boots on the ground in those markets.
I think the reason why I went with property manager is because I don't feel like I have enough experience. My first one, I don't really know the market that well. Like I know Florida like the back of my hand. If it was in Florida, I can property manage it myself.
Mhm.
But it's PA. There's a lot of laws and a lot of things that I just need to leverage someone else's knowledge, even if it's expensive, right? Leverage someone else's knowledge to help me get to a place where I feel comfortable. And I told Lynn as well is if I'm managing it myself and if we're doing it ourselves, I need to feel comfortable. Even when I'm submitting offers, it needs to be at a price that I feel comfortable at. If I don't feel comfortable at that price, then there's no reason, there's no point of even continuing the conversation because now the entire time I'm like, man, I don't feel like this is a good deal or this is not working the way it's supposed to. And I'm always going to look at it in a way that's negative compared to it being positive. So that's why I feel like because I don't have the skills as you have. You've been in this game longer than I have, and I'm trying to get to that level.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean,
that's
I've
all
been
that comes in reps, right?
yeah.
Reps.
Between the two of us, we've been in this about 15 years.
Yeah, I'll get there. So I'll get there. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can hold that property for 15 years. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Every time I think about the future, especially now that the snowball's going down the mountain, I
Hmm.
get so happy. There's actually a snowball going down the mountain. I spent 3 years trying to find something in Miami, nothing was working, and now I finally got something, right? So there's that. You being a property manager, I did want to ask you because this is something that I struggle with as every time I think of, oh, can I manage this myself? How do you build a team to manage it yourself? So I know it's the people, but for example, a maintenance guy or vendor lists
Yeah.
or dealing with tenants that call every day or like the toilets like not working or whatever. How do you deal with that? And what's your plan to handle that? Usually, let's say you're acquiring something new.
So, I mean, if you're talking about vendors, essentially, I have Trisha, which is great. She will call and get people out to the property to do repairs. And what I do is basically I vet them because I'm on the ground. They come out, they do a repair, and we use them a couple of times. We don't use them we use them once, and it all depends on the interactions with them, right? And then I also do a couple other things as well. Is like if I need a plumber, I'm not going to call the same plumber every time until I find somebody I'm completely comfortable with. I'm going to try different plumbers. Now, everyone these days markets on Google. They market on Facebook. So I'm always scrolling to find different vendors, taking a screenshot of their phone numbers and the business name. I send it over to Trisha. She makes a call if we need a plumber or need something, from them, HVAC guy or landscaper. But
So let's say you need, let's say you're gonna do, you're not yourself because you're a contractor, you know all this. Let's say you're gonna do a rehab. You find a property that you're gonna want to do rehab on, and then you're like, okay, I need to find someone, a contractor who can walk this with me to give me an estimate, right? What's your
yeah,
go-to? Do you go
all
Google?
three
Do
or
you go
four of them.
Facebook?
No,
You call
yeah,
Facebook,
well,
and
yeah,
then you have them bid against
you
each
do
other?
that. I would do that. I would either go on Facebook and reach out. A lot of the different cities, especially Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh has Pittsburgh Contractors Facebook group. Join that. Join the investors group in the area on Facebook, and then post. You're doing this. You're looking for this. Any recommendations? Get recommendations from other investors in the area. Other contractors will probably
Hmm.
be a part of the group and reach out to you as well. And it's exactly what I did with Grace when I first bought it. I posted and I said, I'm doing this. I'll be here this date. I had 5 or 6 contractors walk through the property with me 2 different days.
Wow.
And then I chose who I wanted to be out there with me,
That's really good.
you
Okay.
know? And it's a vetting process. It's hey, this is what I'm asking. I'll be here this day. Show up between these times. Let's walk it. I gave them 2 different days. Walk it, have a conversation with them, you know? Have conversations, see how they interact with you, see how they interact, look around the property, see what they notice. That would be a me thing because I'm noticing things and I'm wondering if they're gonna notice it too.
They're gonna, okay.
But even as an owner, you could be just approving of a condition of a property and see if they notice it. You don't have to point it out to them, and then see who provides that estimate. See who shows up. Do 3 or 4 of them, and say, hey, I can be here this day. See who sends that estimate, and then they pretty much weed themselves out.
Hmm. That's actually pretty good.
So yeah,
But
I
don't
mean,
go for,
there's no reason why you can't walk a property with 2, 3, 4 contractors. I actually did one the other day where I have a guy who's working on Grace, actually recommended by your property manager. So he's working with us on Grace to turn a couple units real fast because I can't do everything. I have to admit
mm-hmm.
that to myself. And once you get big enough, you should admit
You
it to
read the,
yourself.
do you need to read the book Who Not How again? You gotta read that again, bro.
Who not how? Yeah. Who not
Read that
how?
again, man.
I do. I do need to read that again. Currently, I'm reading "Buy Back Your Time" by Dan
Oh,
Martell.
that's a good one too. That sounds like
Yep.
a good one too.
Yep. Buy Back Your Time. But yeah, so I actually said, hey, Rich, come on with me. There's this house down the street that I'm looking at doing a BRRRR on. So we walked it together. I had walked it once prior. I had thought it feasible. I brought him down there because ultimately it's down the street from Grace. I'm not going to be there every day to start to do
Right.
renovations on that
Mm,
property the way I'm here in Indiana every day.
exactly.
So we talked about it. We think it's feasible. So once I get a refinance from Grace, if it's still on the market, then I'm going to buy it. But if it's not, wasn't meant to be. Deals come and go. So don't ever be attached to a deal. Don't ever rush into it either.
That's why I told Lynn, my wife, I told her that the same thing because she was like, are we going to get this deal? Because we're having all this appraisal issue. She was freaking out. And I was like, don't worry, we're going to get it because I say we're going to get it. Yeah, don't get attached. And I learned that lesson pretty strong with the 28 unit because I was really attached to that one. I was really hoping that one was going through, but then, things happen. And I learned after it was ripped away from our hands that it happens. It happens. And we grow because
That's
of
the
it. We
game,
grow because of it.
unfortunately. And I think like a
That's the
lot of
game.
people get attached when they start playing the game, and then they learn after a while.
Mhm.
I mean, there were a couple properties I put offers in on that I really wanted, and they weren't accepted, and I got disappointed. But
Even then, like I remember I put offers again, it was that comfortability thing. I put an offer in and then they're like, can you go this much? And I was like, no, it needs to be my number. What about this much? And it was just like a little bit more than my number. And I was like, no, it needs to be my number.
yeah, yeah,
I feel comfortable with my number because I did all the underwriting. It gotta be this. If it's not this, then there's no deal here, man.
yeah, yeah.
Thinking back on these deals that I submitted offers on, I've heard so many no's and lost so many things. even one that it was a bidding war, and they were like, "Can you go up to this price? Give us your max." That's what it said. Give us your max offer because we're getting a bunch of offers. Give us your max.
A
So I
lot of
gave them my
realtors are
max.
calling for highest and best.
Yeah, highest and best. I gave them my best that I felt comfortable with, and I lost by 5K. And I was like, man,
Yep.
should I have done 5K more? Like, no, because then we're gonna have another bidding
No,
war.
because that 5K ruined your deal.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't make my metrics. And I was like, all right, there's always another one. And then there's some properties that we look at. Lynn looks at them and she's like, oh, this is so pretty. It's so gorgeous. I was like, yeah, but it needs to meet our number. If it doesn't meet our number, then it's just another box.
Exactly. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't have to
I
be
gotta meet
pretty.
our number.
It doesn't have to be pretty. Honestly, you want to make sure your tenants are comfortable living in a well suited apartment, well maintained, clean environment.
Exactly.
But it also depends on your market class. A, B, or C markets. I'm in a C market right now with Grace, and we're not talking granite countertops. We're not talking stainless steel appliances. We're talking functional, and we're talking safe and clean and livable.
But yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you have to know your market because you can. I remember someone told me this, and I kept it in the back of my mind is you can buy in a C market and then make it look like it A market, like the property in A, but then you're still gonna get C prices.
Yeah,
Ugh,
exactly. Exactly. I'm not going to go and get downtown Pittsburgh prices for a two bedroom of $1,200, $1,300 on a two bedroom across the river, right across from Duquesne across the river in for sales where I'm at. I'm going to get for sales prices no matter how much money I put into a unit.
exactly,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, some people have a hard time understanding that. I remember a friend of mine this week actually, and he was calling me. He was telling me about how much work that he was putting in to flip a property or turn a property because his tenant was leaving. So he's
Mhm.
like, I'm doing so much work to turn this property. Do you think I should keep the security deposit or should I return the security deposit? And I was like, oh, it depends on how much work you're doing. Like, this is natural, normal stuff that you do during turns, like, changing light bulbs, blah, blah, blah. Or is it like there's a hole in the wall or the chandelier is missing, whatever? And he was like, well, they changed all the fans. They changed all the fans to, sorry, all the lights to fans. And I was
Goodness.
like, yeah, I was like, okay, is that a bad thing or a
Well, if
good
you
thing? Or,
talking the screw in light bulb fans, you can
yeah, it's like at the
spend
top.
40 bucks.
No, no, no. He's like like a whole fan. Like they had a light fixture there, but it was only light. So
Yeah.
they just changed that and put fan there. So I was like, that sounds like an upgrade.
That's,
In
you
my
need
opinion,
that.
that sounds like an upgrade. He said, just keep that. And he's like, yeah, but they're ugly. And I was like, but it doesn't matter if they're ugly. Just keep it. And it's like, it doesn't look like, how ugly are we talking about? Is it brown and disgusting looking? Or is it just like, you just don't personally like it, right? And anyone else who bought it would, whatever. Because
Yeah.
I told you have to be more understanding about your time to value, I guess, because you can sit there and change all these things, buy these things, and change it back, and then keep the security deposit, or you can give
But
back the
that's the
security
thing. You need
deposit.
to understand your laws around keeping your security deposit.
That's also true.
You
That is
know,
also true.
so you keep security deposit with for everything over and above normal wear and tear. So if they had fans that were broken and busted, then that would be we justified it. If they had, if you had holes in the wall, if they went and painted when they weren't supposed to paint, if broken this and that, broken doorknobs, broken vents for broken, so then you can look at it and say, I'm keeping this. If
Right.
they left furniture behind, I had one tenant completely just move out in the middle of the night. Well, that security deposit was used to clean out all your stuff, you
Yeah.
know? So you got to stay within your laws too. And in Pennsylvania, I don't know anywhere else. I know Pennsylvania law, but you have to return the security deposit within 30 days, or you have to provide them with a letter stating basically a receipt of why you kept the deposit.
Okay. Yeah, he was telling me that he had to do some type of letter that he had to send out just to tell him that he's gonna send it back, but in an itemized because he's gonna only take out what he needs. And I was like, man, it's for me, it's all in. If I know that this is just normal wear and tear, I can get this unit back up. Then the next day, I focus on that because I was like, every day that you sit there getting stuff fixed because you need it to be perfect, is a day that that unit's not on the market. So I was like, if it's rentable, at least he's like, yeah. Then his agent was like showing it, and he was in there, and he's like, I need it nice so I can show it. And it was a bunch of back and forth just because of, from my opinion, was personal preference. I would have left the fans there and let it, because if that tenant will switch it, well, who says that you switch it back and the tenant doesn't put more fans? And there you go, do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about cleaning, not cleanliness, but like during the showing, it's nice to have something complete. But it's also nice to be like, listen, we're physically, you can see the guys working physically here, making it look like this one, you know? And that's what we're
Right.
doing at Grace. We're pre-leasing even before the units are done, because we have one unit that is completely finished, and we're saying this is what your unit will look like when it's complete. Let's go over and take a look at where your unit will be.
Nice. That's actually kind of cool, because then you know that, oh, they got people on staff that are fixing these things. So if I have any questions or anything is broken, I know that they can come and fix it right away. That's actually pretty cool. That's I didn't even think about that. That's a good leverage. I'll tell my friend that. Yeah, don't worry about you being there. Tell them that you're there to fix it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you're
cool.
there
That's
fixing it
good. That's
right
a
now.
good.
Take a look, you know?
That's a good. A way of looking at it. I thought that the tenant will think that, oh my god, these people don't have their they don't know what they're doing because they're sitting here still getting stuff done while they're trying to show me the unit. It doesn't match the pictures, you know. It doesn't
Right.
look like the pictures you showed me.
Yeah, and it's just, hey, here's a unit that's complete. This is what it will look like when it's done. Here's where your unit's located. So you can put the two and two together, but we're actively working on doing it.
Hmm. So besides the flip that you're currently doing right now, right? And the other property that you said that you're looking at if once you refinance Grace, what is your plan for the next 6 months of the year? Half the year's gone. What's the plan
Yeah,
for the next
so
one?
right now I'm kind of reallocating my time a little bit, because as of I'm gonna say the 5th of July, because we do have a move in happening on the 5th, not the 1st, but on the 5th of July, where Grace should be, if everyone moves in, 89% occupied. So
Wow.
the partner's
What's that
working on the
1%, bro?
refi.
I have to ask. What's that 1%?
Where's that
What's
one
that one?
percent? That 1% is sitting in one unit. Like one more unit will bump us over 90%. The math says, yeah, the math says that for every one unit, it bumps 2%.
Dang. So, do you think you can do that? Is that on the mission board?
No,
Really?
no,
90 is
it's
such a
not.
nice number,
Because,
though.
yeah, it is. It is. Because currently all the units that can be renovated in a speedy fashion are done.
So you're looking at the really long,
Yes, we're
hard
looking
work
at the
stuff.
long turns right now. We're looking at drywall. We're looking at, you know, flooring, paint, whole kitchens. We're looking at whole bathrooms. Yeah. So we're looking at really big turns at the moment.
I'm curious about that. And this is a little bit side tangent based on what you. Is that so? Will you fix? Sorry. Will you fix those, or will you leave them there and roll on 80% for a little bit, or 89% for a
We
little
will
bit?
slowly fix those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
So
thinking like
the
one or two
goal is
units a
100%
year,
occupancy.
or
The goal is always 100% occupancy. I think we can get it. We still have so much interest, but right now it's not feasible because of the turns. But essentially 100% occupancy looks like an additional an additional 4 units.
additional 4
Because,
units?
yep,
Okay.
because we have one unit reserved for maintenance storage, materials inventory, and we have one unit
Okay.
reserved for our showing unit.
Wait, is that the is that the one that you're renting out now? The showing unit?
No, no, I moved that one. I'm the showing unit. I moved over to a different unit.
So wait. So the one that you get on the 5th is at 89, right? That's not the showing unit, right?
No, nope.
So
So
you technically could rent the showing unit and be 90, right?
I could, but what if I have a move out? Yeah, you're right. I could, but what if I have a move out coming up and I want to be? This is what your unit will look like.
This is what the end of the year will look like. So you're just trying to make sure you're being conservative, which is nice.
Yeah. So what
Nice.
I'm saying is I'm always gonna have a showing unit because I wanna store things like doorknobs and keys and things like that for the
Okay.
on-site manager to go into and grab, but also for her to show a unit and say, okay, we have unit number 13 moving out at the end of this month. You're interested in it. This is what it's going to look like. Let's walk our showing unit. And by the way, this is where the number 13 is located.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It's always good to have a showing unit.
Yeah.
I've heard
It's
that
still,
everywhere. It's good to have one.
here's what it looks like. Here where it's located. It's just you're not physically working on the unit at the moment. All you got to do at
Right.
that point is tenant moves out of 13. Unless they completely destroyed it, you're getting the cleaner in there to do a clean on it, and then you're renting it back out. So
Right.
pre-leasing again. So you're
Pre-leasing.
getting them to sign a lease before the old tenant moves out. So that way you have a new tenant moving in almost right away.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Okay. I was being greedy in a sense, right? I want a number.
Having 2 units not count towards occupancy is no big deal, right? So that's 4% of a portfolio. So that's technically at 96% all the time. But taking them
which you will be.
Yeah, taking them out of the rotation, 48 units becomes 46 units. Having 46 units filled all the time is 100% occupied.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It was a long road. It was a long road.
It's been a long road. We're almost at a year of ownership. We'll be at a year in 3 months.
But to be honest with you, and I have to say this to your credit, you guys have done more in a year than the previous owner did, and forever how long he's had it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
we put a lot of work into this place.
Exactly. So and then it goes to show because at the beginning when you guys bought this, it was not a kid property, which is why you got it so low. But still, now you're making it.
It was 54% occupied, and maybe 3 or 4 of the units were almost rent ready.
Yeah.
So it's not like I could even start leasing right away at purchase, you know?
Yeah, that makes. I think you give yourself a pat on the back there because you guys did a lot of work, and it's paid off. And then it's paid off. So at first, the winter was a chilly one. It was a chilly and scary one.
Hard time.
It was a hard winter. It was like one of those. What is it? One of those winters that you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel type deal.
Yeah, it was never ending. Yeah, exactly. Because
then when summer came, you're like, there's light.
Yeah.
And then the summer came, the tenants came too. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, we didn't have any move-ins for about 2-3 months through the winter. Nobody wanted to move.
Makes sense.
And then I kept having to just solve problems and be
pipe
reactive.
burst in that one unit, that flood.
Yep.
Oh man,
yeah.
That's why I told you and I told Mitch I got attached to this that your property a little bit, even though I have no skin in the game. I got attached because I want to see it succeed, man.
I got blood, sweat, and tears in the property.
Yeah. Not only that, I was like, you want to see it because once you put blood, sweat, and tears to something, you want to see it succeed, right?
Exactly.
If someone's doing bad, you're like, no, we can turn around. You need me to come back out there? Exactly. What do we need to do? Yeah, that's when I think the other day I asked Mitch about, was it 48 that we were in? The one with all the smoke on the wall.
Was that number 48? Yep.
Yeah, so we were in 48, and Mitch sent me a picture of one of the units. I didn't even recognize it. That one had smoke on the walls and a bunch of holes because the tenant put a bunch of things in the walls. So when they showed me the photo, I didn't even recognize it. I was like, that is amazing.
That one will be occupied the first.
That is awesome. That was a 2-unit too. That was one of the bigger ones.
That was a 2-bedroom, exactly. Yeah. That'll be occupied. I mean, I did have to, remember when you were in there and I had to cut a hole in the wall and I dusted you out?
Remember that.
Dust.
Yeah.
I found one leak, found another leak, found a third leak, found a fourth, I was chasing leaks, but.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, it was occupied the first of this month now, and it's good to go.
That is very, very cool. I can't wait. I need to see come back later and then you can have a gate
Don't worry. When it's complete, when I'm ready to announce we're at 80% this coming month, it's gonna be a nice post with all nice pictures and everything too. Because
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. The
this
new
is
sign.
almost
Did you guys
beforehand.
ever get a chance to repaint the outside? I remember Mitch wanted to do that. Change the
Not
color a
every
little
one of
bit.
them. Two of them are currently painted. That's not where my
Cool.
focus has been.
Yeah, focusing on getting units ready. Yeah. Yeah. The paints can be done with everything else at the end once you
Yep.
get the 89.
Yeah.
That is really cool, man.
So,
That is
but
really
yeah,
cool.
no.
So sorry, that was a
To go back
sidetrack.
to
What
answer your
else?
question though, once
Yeah.
we refinance Grace, I'm on the hunt for another multifamily, 20+ units in the Pittsburgh area. I'm on the hunt, so I'm actually pivoting a little bit more of my time into market research again, as well as deal acquisition, and offers.
Will you take an easy win? Because I have, well, if you I have an easy win that I think that I found, and I want to share it with you and to get your. It's not 20+ units. It's a 5 unit, but it's I want to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I say easy win, but it's never easy. There's a lot of things that I just don't know, but the numbers work if I can get them at what I can get them at,
Right, right.
But I just need someone to help look at it. It's
Yeah.
like this is
Oh,
why
I'll
I
look at any
leverage
deal you
you.
send my way.
Yeah, I leverage you. I leverage Mitchell. I leverage everyone. I just send it to you guys and be like, "What's going on with this?" I even talked to Sal. I don't know if you believe Sal. I
Yeah,
sent him a.
text Sally the other day. Back and
Yeah,
forth a
I
little
actually
bit
called
while we
him.
were at Mastermind.
I actually called him because I wanted to make sure that he was doing good. He was in Egypt for like a couple months, so he was really hard to get a hold of. I called him about a property, and I was like, "Hey, do you think this will work at this price at this thing?" He's like, "Yeah, if you can get it." And he was giving me all his like opinions, and then I had my realtor go out there and check, and the realtor didn't even make it to the door. That's the one I sent you. That's what I sent you. The realtor didn't even make it to the door. He's like, no, we're not getting this one. The outside needs at least 50K repairs. And I went back to sales. Like, they said no. And it was like, all right, on to the next.
Nice.
Did you get
All
a
right.
chance to look
Well,
at that one?
yeah, I looked at that one. I looked at that. But all right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you never get touched with something. You move on to the next. You get bad
Yeah,
news,
move
you
on
go
to
to
the
the next. It
next.
breaks the deal, and you move on
Yeah,
to the next.
move on to the next. Yeah, it's for me. I've been trying to make sure trying to narrow down my market a little bit more. I'm
Yeah.
still. I got two things I'm looking at. I'm looking at something I can live in, owner occupied, and probably like self manage the other units, the house hacking, or partner with someone who can help me because I don't have the capital. Partner with someone who can at least bring in the capital on on a property that I can get the good offer on. So the numbers have to work. And I've been using everything to understand the numbers. This is just basically what I've been doing for the last 6 months. My goal is I want to acquire at least one more property before the end. I'm gonna try to really try hard to get something else.
Yeah.
See if I can partner with someone or self manage it. We'll see. It's hard. It's hard fought right now.
You never know,
It
but
even means
I'm
moving in
hoping
winter.
Matt from Colliers is listening to this right now. But I'm still have my eye on that 34 unit in McKeesport on Versailles Avenue. I like that one, but I like it at the right price. He knows my number,
Yeah,
and if because
you sent me
it's still
that one.
listed.
I remember
It's
that one.
still listed, but the owner will come down below a certain price, and I won't come above. I won't hit that price. So
Hey, send Matt a message. Be like, hey, what's going on?
yep,
Let's get a coffee.
exactly.
There's that too. I have a bunch of properties like that that's still on the market right now, and the owner doesn't want to come down in price. I was like, it worked for
A
me at
lot of
this
the owners
price.
promised. They promised, hopes and dreams, and the reality is, then it sits there for 2-3 years. To be actually absolutely honest, this property with Matt at Colliers has been sitting there for a year and a half now.
Jeez,
Yep, I put an offer in on that one in January of last year,
wow.
and then I put another
Yeah, it's a
offer in
slow
with
game.
you, a couple months ago.
Yeah,
So
it's a slow game. Dang.
I'll poke them
The
again here
offer you put in,
eventually.
the second offer was lower, right?
Yeah, it was.
I do that too. Nah, man, you coming back? Second offer was lower.
Well, he came back with it's getting more rent income. All right, great. We filled a few more units. Awesome. That's nice. But there's a leak in the roof now. Well, then that sucked that right back down.
That is go back down, even lower actually. I
Thinking
gotta
lower.
get
All
that
right, well,
fixed.
I mean, I got guys that can fix that, but you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, yeah. Dang.
So we'll see. I'll be on the hunt again for another property. And you know, before I purchased Grace, I had submitted about 50 offers. I was doing investor meetings here, almost every week in Pittsburgh area. So we'll see how my time allows me to do things like that again.
I think after you flip this house that you're currently in, get it rehab ready, not rehab ready, refinance ready, you'll have more time. But
Yeah, because I'm going to reposition myself to not doing all the work myself.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
we're not
Even
how again,
myself,
right? We're not how and buy back your time.
I've been doing a lot of, I think I've been overworking myself a little bit. Hey, but you've been leveraging AI pretty heavily recently.
Yes, I
So
have. Yeah,
that's
I've
pretty
been doing a
cool.
really large AI build through Claude, implementing a new AI assistant into my team. Not there yet. I've tried her out. She's just sitting there in the chat, learning back and forth, listening to the conversation. But I actually took her offline last night to
Really?
do some more updates and implement a few more things and make her more autonomous rather than just
Mm,
a question answer bot. She's going to be more autonomous to do certain things within the business as well as within my personal management of just my personal life, my emails, my calendars,
your
manage that.
time, yeah. Dude, so many emails that I realize that I'm checking now. Like I thought, hey man, I'm gonna get into this, real estate thing to work less. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Not only
No.
did
You
I
got to be realistic. Now, just remember, anyone listening, you have to be realistic. You're going to get into the real estate game to work less in the future.
okay, yes, yes. And also work for yourself. It's a really good thing to work for yourself, I believe. That now that I have this thing, I see like I can, if I keep growing it, it'll generate enough income to where my wife doesn't have to work for others. She can work for us. And then that's the goal, right? The real estate professional. And
Absolutely the
then you
goal.
start getting tax benefits.
Yep. It's absolutely the goal to work for yourself, to leverage teams, to leverage others, to leverage other people's money, and grow a business, grow a real estate portfolio where in the future, that's the key, in the future, you can do whatever, whenever, and just spend 4 to 6 hours a week running your business.
Oh, yeah. I
To
think,
be absolutely honest, I actually had a meeting today with Trisha and maintenance coordinator. We had a meeting today, and I told them we're going to sit down individually, and I'm going to pass off some things. Like I'm done doing this and this and this, and it's going to be your responsibility. You get this, this, and this. And it's not that I want to give these things up; it's that I need to give these things up because, for one, I shouldn't be holding on to them anyway. It should be their job. And for two, I'm actually going away for 3 weeks. So I need to get them ready before I go.
okay.
The something along, let's see, calendar here. Yeah, I'm actually leaving July 11th for El
Where
Salvador.
to? Wow.
So I'm going to El Salvador for a missions trip. I come back on the 17th. I leave on the 18th for a family vacation at Myrtle Beach. And then I come back on the 24th. And on the 25th, I'm a whole week away with my kid at summer camp, at scout camp.
That, wow. That's
And
awesome.
I'm gonna be tired, but I get to do these things. I get to have these time with my family. I get to go with my kid to scout camp. Have the family vacation in Myrtle, and our condo, and volunteer for my church. On this mission in El Salvador. It just happened that they lined up 1, 2, 3.
It's summer. The tends to line up like that.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm looking here. It's like, okay, I get back from summer camp and I have to drive my kids for an entire week up to Connecticut because they spend a week with my sister. So,
Wow.
but that's the goal, right? That's the goal, to spend time with family, spend time doing what you want to do, being able to do. If I didn't have the freedom to do this, I wouldn't be able to. If I worked for somebody else, I wouldn't be able to do this.
you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, and even if you could, you'd always have the I have to time it in a way to where it doesn't, affect my job as well as, oh, am I going to get fired? Blah blah blah. All these things. Even to this day, because I still work for someone else. I still got a W-2. To this day, I still have that feeling when I was looking at properties in Pittsburgh with you or with Lynn when we were helping you with your property. Lynn was over there saying, like, I got to call out sick, the whole the sick deal, and tell her that I'm unable to come into the office. And just to be fair, she did get sick after the fact, but it's karma, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Self-fulfilling
But
prophecy right there.
exactly, so that was really prophecy, man. Yeah. So I hope to have good news by the end of this year about things. At least I have another property under my belt. Maybe not, right? Maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe, like I said, I didn't feel comfortable, but I'm happy I finally pulled the trigger this year. I feel like if anyone is out there waiting, they're reading the books or doing anything, pull the trigger, man. Pull the trigger on something that you feel comfortable with, like a house hack, even if it's something small, something that you can control, something that you think that you can manage yourself, even if you want to learn, right? Something that's not going to put you underwater, I believe. Right now, that's what I'm in a position to where, because I have income from my W-2 and now income for the real estate, nothing that I do would put me underwater, right?
It's exactly how I started
So
too. I
yeah,
started buying properties August of 2020, and I didn't leave my W-2 until 22, June
nice.
of 22. But I immediately got my real estate license and then started my contracting business as well. And I did that up until last year, and then now I'm just an agent working for myself. So it, if you go back and if I think it was Kiyosaki, but mind your own business. Work for somebody
And
else.
that's why I did my folder. My wife was checking our shared drive, and then one of the folders said "Mind your own business," and she's like, "What is that? Are you being mean?" I was like, "No, no, no, no. It's our work stuff.
It's our own business.
It's our
Yeah,
business
mind your own
stuff."
business. It's not, you're minding someone else's business right now. So also go to work every day, do what's expected of you, so you can have that income, and then but work yourself out of that. Work yourself out of that by
Yeah,
minding your own business, start a business, and then work on that in your off hours. Honestly,
I agree.
I was personal banker at the bank, and then I was promoted to a branch manager. I think I said it before, but I
Hmm.
had plenty of free time to work on my own business while I got paid for it. So
Yep, yep. That's the situation I'm in now. I have plenty of time. Well, if you think about it, I work from like 9 to 5, and after 5, it's a remote job, so I'm home anyways. So from 5 to like 9, I still work on the business. And even sometimes I check emails and stuff while I'm at work if I'm like getting some lunch and stuff to email the tenant, talk to my PM. And I'm lucky I have a PM that can leverage it. Even Sal was telling me, "Don't get rid of the PM, bro. You don't want to self manage." I was like, I need to learn, Sal. I need to go off the deep end. I need to learn why I don't want to learn. Don't want to self manage. Even if I'm like, this sucks, and I give it back to the PM. I still need to learn that. I need to know
you know what you're missing, right?
exactly. I need to know what I'm missing. And that way, when I do a PM and they're telling me something crazy like, oh, this guy doesn't want to pay rent for whatever reason, but I saw the money come in or whatever. I'm like, I know what to expect basically too.
Yeah. Now, to be absolutely honest, I could have bought my first property and then hired a property manager. I could have done that, but that's just not me. That's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to leverage myself, my talents, and grow this portfolio into something that I could be proud of and hand off to my kids. And yes, I could have done that with a PM, but then I had trust issues. It
Well,
was
it's
6 years
also
ago, right?
you're also a lot closer, right? There's a lot of people that just,
Yeah.
for example, if you live in like California, Florida for one, Texas is getting there now. New York, don't even get me started on New York, like New York City, and you're trying to manage a property that's 2 miles, 3 miles, it's not 2 hours, 3 hours away from you. It's kind of difficult. And I need to know my limits. Like it's easy for you to drive 4 hours every single day because you're in this game a lot. For me, like the flying 2 hours and then getting a hotel or Airbnb and then rental car, all this stuff, like coming back, I didn't feel comfortable, which is why I'm trying to get up there. I'm trying to get up there to see if I can do the self management stuff.
Hmm.
And if I can, and I like it, hey, maybe I fall in love with it, and then I just like you. manage everything myself, build my own
Yeah.
teams.
There's always that possibility, and there's always a possibility. Like you said, you don't want to be getting a call at midnight, because my phone's leaking or what's that?
I'll need to have a system for that. I probably use AI like you're doing. If they call,
Don't
I
get me
don't leave a
wrong. When I
message.
had
Then
when I
nothing
had
happened. It wasn't urgent enough.
when I had the 17 units, when I maxed out 17 units, I was still doing it all myself. I was doing it all myself and running my contracting business because it was no big deal. If I had an emergency call at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning for myself, it was what it was. I got in the truck, I drove to the property. Because I was also an on-call maintenance person for 2 other property managers as well. So whether
Hey,
I got a call from my own tenants or whether I got a call from their tenants, it was the same deal.
yes. How often do you get calls like that? We need to clear the air. How often does that happen? Let's say a month.
It really depends on the month. I've had, well, let's say this past month, emergency maintenance issues, overnight calls, nothing.
Wow.
2 months ago, 3 or 4,
Was it 2 months ago? Before that was winter time, right? Because of the pipes and stuff.
what was that? April? I wouldn't say that. I was
April.
faced sometimes, electrical issues is one. I blew a fuse.
Okay.
Grace still has fuses, so blew a fuse at my refrigerator. All right, well, I gotta either call somebody out there to take care of it, or I gotta go out and put a new fuse in. So honestly, drive 4 hours to put a fuse in. It's a little annoying, but I gotta, either do it. It's either myself or my
Right.
tech.
Very interesting. So there are some months where nothing happens, right? How often are those months?
Say that again.
There are some months where nothing happens, right? Like it's just chill.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. How often are those in a year, you would think?
Well, I believe this month was probably the first month that has happened. So
Well, that's not fair because you've been at Grace every single. You've been,
yeah,
yeah. We got some wood over there. I got wood on my desk.
exactly. Exactly. I would say it's everyone has problems.
Wait. What about Renzi?
Renzi.
Yeah, what about
Renzi's
Renzi?
easy.
Besides the tree, how bad has it been?
Renzi's the easy button, dude. Like, besides the tree falling on the building, I gotta take that out of the scenario because that was a freak of nature. That was, that was ridiculous. That cost me $10,000 for a new AC furnace combination because the
Jeez.
tree landed on the AC condenser.
Wow, what a picky tree.
No, just landed on the AC condenser. It took out a balcony railing, so I gotta fix the railing yet. But that's just a couple 2x6s re-screwed back together. But yeah, that AC condenser falling on it. It was an older unit, so the techs went out there and said, "All right, I don't have parts for this. I can't get parts for this. It's gonna get a new one, which means I also have to change the insides of this furnace." They took the furnace apart, found a CO leak, so they had to replace the entire thing. So $10,300 later, that unit has a brand new furnace and AC condenser, and that thing better not break down for a few years.
Or
But
yeah, keep the trees away from me. That's what happened.
exactly.
The trees were eyeing it, man. They're eyeing it. They're beefing the entire time. That's why.
Yeah. But we get lucky with Renzi. We did. So we're at 100% occupancy at Renzi. Renzi's the 18 unit. We have the on-site property manager who lives at Renzi, takes care of that property, as well as Grace now. And she does a great job with the tenants. They're all long-term tenants. And I had to file for an eviction last month for one tenant. She's now caught up to date and paid. And I had to file for eviction this month. I have a hearing for him on Tuesday, and he said he's going to pay. He just couldn't pay right up front. I said, that's fine. But that's the thing. They're going to tell you excuses. I'm going to pay. And like, oh, that's no problem. I thank you for paying. But as of this date, because of the notice I sent you, your 10 days is up. We're going to file for eviction. If you pay between now and the eviction court date, it's all dropped. But yeah, no, Renzi's the easy button. I haven't had many major issues at Renzi, which is great. Knock on wood again.
No maintenance calls?
Not a lot of maintenance calls here and there, but they're small issues. Renzi was better maintained by the old owner than Grace was.
That goes to show you. So after you get Grace flipped and everything good, it's going to be, hopefully, because tenant, I don't know if the tenant situation is the same. Is Renzi still north for sales?
Renzi is not north for Renzi is McKeesport, but it is in a
Okay, so
better
it's in the
part of
same general
McKeesport.
area. So same tenant class, right?
Same tenant class. Yep. But
So
it
if it's the
is
same tenant class, then I'm
yeah.
thinking that
The best part about Renzi though is actually surrounded by a park.
yes, I remember this. We spoke about this last time. That's why I brought it up, because I'm thinking not many maintenance calls when you got a park to look at and they calm you down.
Yeah. Yeah, calm down. Go watch him take a walk in the park. No, but
Exactly. Take a walk, then make the phone call.
it's on the border of an A-class neighborhood though. So
Okay.
right
So
there
your
in the
tenant
middle of
classes
the
are probably
park,
better.
you leave the park in one direction, you're in McKees Park. You leave the park in the other direction, you're in White Oak. So completely different
Yes.
markets.
Okay. Okay.
So it's right there on the edge, which is awesome because I can market it to White Oak.
To a higher to a B class, right? I guess a BA
Right.
class.
Yeah. Yeah. A higher
Okay.
class neighborhood, which is awesome.
Do you? And this is my last question before we wrap up here. Do you think that Renzi is worth renovating for the White Oak tenants to that
Eventually on the flip.
level?
Same scenario with as Grace. So when a tenant moves out, it will get new flooring, new kitchen, countertops. I'm gonna keep the actual oak counter cabinets, which is they're good quality. But some of them will get new floors. They'll get a whole new paint scheme. They'll get a better looking area. I had to put a new bathroom in one. And I don't mind doing that for that area because of the potential increase in rents. This one also has laundry on site. It also has
Wow.
Yep. It's also gas and water and trash and everything included except for electric. So
For the tenant? The tenant pays?
pay electric.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's very nice.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. So obviously higher rents, but yet we're paying more utilities. It kind of breaks out a little bit, but yeah, I'm definitely going to increase the appeal of them over time.
Good.
And that's the same with Grace too. Grace, I want to put a wrought iron fence around the property. I want to make it look more safe.
Can't wait to see
that. I want to be able to have that fence up against the road, which then lets the parents in the community let their kids run around.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. I just thought, yeah. That road is crazy.
That road is absolutely insane. But
that road is
kind of offers the kids away from the road.
I spent a couple nights there. The nights are pretty quiet, like very, very quiet.
Yeah.
But during the day, man, that road, you just boom, boom. And then even crossing is kind of like precarious. So maybe you want to stop them from thinking because there's a market and a laundry shop or cross, like it's like right there. So you want to stop.
And depending on the direction they want to go on the bus, you got to cross the street too.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, man, that road's crazy. All right. Yeah. Thank you for joining me today, Zach. This was a lot of fun, actually. As you can see, we had nothing scripted. It was just chatting and wanting to know about our goals for the next end of the year. Hopefully I can see if I can get Carl back so he can come and give us his update. But I got nothing else, man.
Yeah, I hear Carl's been busy, so he's doing
I saw his farm.
People as well.
I saw his farm. He's been really busy.
Yeah. He really
goat.
Up his farm.
He's planting stuff now. I have to get him on here so he can share it with us. All right, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us on the Scale Nation Podcast.
Yeah, we're good one.